What's up, fellow gamers? MicroStar International sponsored this unboxing for us to take a look at their new MSI Raider Max 16 laptop. It's a top-of-the-line gaming laptop that really wants you to know that you can access your SSD and RAM from literally the first thing you see.
It's important.
It is. Consider it learned. Honestly, great feature for expandability, especially when you're gonna get something as chunky and as powerful as this. This is basically a desktop replacement because look at that body. She thick. And the reason it's so thick is because this has 300 watts of power. It's got an NVIDIA RTX 5090 running at 175 watts, basically the max spec you can get in a laptop, and an Intel Ultra 9 290HX, which is the top of the line Arrow Lake CPU from them. Also in the box, we got a hefty power brick. And that's it. I really had that sentence like I was gonna say more, but I didn't. A 400 watt AC/DC adapter with a proprietary connector. Usually we just get rid of the charger when we're doing these videos, but since this thing is going to be running at 300 watts, possibly when we're gaming later, that means that its nice, large 91.8 watt hour battery will run out pretty quickly. If you really want to be using all the power on this, you really want to be plugged into the wall. I might be really excited to game, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look around the outside of the laptop. On the top, we have the classic MSI Dragon badge, as well as another dragon that looks like it's being seen through the mist with this kind of stealthy, textured finish that looks kind of cool. I will say that this particular color of the laptop seems to really show fingerprints if the light's hitting it at the right angle. I'm hoping that we get some RGB on this, though I do kind of like the stealthier, calmer look of the gaming laptop. For our I/O, on the right-hand side, we have the combo audio jack, two USB-A 3.2 Gen 2s, so 10 gigabits per second, right? Yeah, that's pretty nice. Actually 10 gigabit ports. We love it, we love it. On the back, we have our 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 2.1, another USB-A, and a place for our charger. I like having ports on the back of these gaming laptops. I especially like the charger on the back on these gaming laptops. On the left-hand side, we get our Kensington lock and two Thunderbolt 4s and an SD Express reader. Here on the bottom, we can see we have lots of ventilation. We're gonna tear it down in just a little bit, but also notice this upgrade to win text here. I love to see the super easy upgradability on this laptop. And another thing I've noted is that everything is Phillips head screws. It's going to be nice and easy to repair, I hope, at least on the bottom half of things. It is heavy, it is 5.73 pounds. And I'm not too surprised once when you take into account the thickness, but also just look at the density of the heatsink in here. And that kind of covers the outside. One thing to note is that while the top is metal, the rest of the body is all just plastic, which makes a little bit of sense, especially if you're trying to like deal with weight. Because if you made something this large, like if this was all metal, like a MacBook or something, we'd be looking at probably like 8 pounds or something. Also, you'd have to deal with like the thermal transfer of like a very hot computer passing through the heat through the aluminum body, and it would get kind of awful. When we look at the keyboard though, we actually get, wow, a full complement keyboard here. We got our numpad on the side. We get full-sized arrow keys. Thank you, MSI. And they didn't have to sacrifice a lot to make it happen. We still have our shift, we have a function key. We don't have a right control, which I think for some people that might kind of piss them off, like a lot. Let's focus on the rest of the keyboard. And it's not just a full-size keyboard, it also has full RGB for every single key, so you can make this look as cool or as stealthy as you may want. So if you're like, you know, nighttime gaming, and you know exactly where your fingers are supposed to go. Another cool separating feature about their keyboard is the function buttons on the arrow keys. You can change your fan profiles, and it is actually super handy. I love it that you could just be like, oh, I know that this computer's getting too hot. Let me just deal with it instead of having to like fiddle with a fan curve and some more complex software. It even includes a cheater button on the down arrow key where it just gives you this little crosshair. MSI always innovating in ways to cheat. Overall build quality of the chassis itself, there's some deck flex, which I'm not too surprised by because it is a 16-inch laptop and it does have a plastic frame. The trackpad itself is large, but not as large as we've seen on other laptops lately, but I think it's a pretty usable size. There's kind of some wonkiness on this one where there's a little bit of rattle. We've reached out to MSI about it. It's because this is an engineering sample. It should be a little bit better, so we can't give you too many thoughts on the trackpad. But in terms of just capacitive touch and stuff, it seems to be functioning totally fine. The keyboard itself, is pretty standard chiclet. I like a little bit more tactility with my typing than this offers, but I see no real huge cons on this. I would happily write a long time on this if I needed to. And the numpad is kind of a killer feature, especially if you're somebody who maybe plays more complex games like flight sims or something, because you could totally run flight sims on this. Or if you just need to like get some nerdy business done during the day before you game at night. Now let's talk about the display. In terms of screen flex, we have a little bit more than you'd see on a lot of like metal backs, but the interior frame is plastic, and I think it's totally fine for what we have here. The display itself is a bougie OLED display. It is a 16:10, which is arguably the best of all aspect ratios. I know, I hear you 3:2 people, you're wrong. It is a 2560 by 1600 for resolution. It can go to 240 hertz, which you'll actually be able to take advantage of because this laptop is packing some crazy hardware. They also claim 100% coverage of the DCI-P3 color space, as well as VESA Display HDR True Black 1000 certification, so this thing should be nice and bright as well. And just looking at it, it is great. They've chosen a great background to really demonstrate the contrast that you can get with the OLED, and it's also pretty bright, even with these studio lights. The display itself has a pretty glossy finish and can be pretty reflective, but it's bright enough that like for most angles, it's not too disruptive. It is not a touch screen, which is a shame. I think it's always nice to have the option for a touch screen, but I imagine that their target demographic is people who are gonna be using a mouse or something like that, you know? That's why they put the like little USB-A port on the back so you can plug your mouse in. For speakers, we have 4 2-watt speakers somewhere inside of here. I just want to take a quick impression of how those will sound. They are not the worst speakers I've heard, but they don't get very loud, and when you do crank them up, the sound signature changes quite a bit. There's just not enough speaker in here to really drive good bass at loud volumes, but I mean, like, it's totally fine lower volumes. Now we're taking a look at the webcam, which has a hardware cover, which is nice for privacy-minded individuals. It's full HD, it has IR from Windows Hello, and I think the quality is totally fine. It is not gonna blow you out of the water, but there's nothing offensively bad about this. I think it's totally good to use in a pinch for most webcam uses. It's chill. I like it. Hopefully the microphone sounds good. Let us know. All right, let's play some games on it. But we're not just gonna play some games. We're also gonna be running OBS to get screen recording on it because we have that much power. We're just gonna get plugged into our power brick because this thing pulls 300 watts when we use the MSI overboost feature. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this has a hardware mux switch. For those of you who don't know, a hardware mux switch allows your integrated graphics and your discrete graphics to both get access to the display without having to talk to each other. If you don't have a mux switch, you have to render on your discrete GPU, send that to your CPU so that it can send it to the display, adding latency and performance hit and loss of power efficiency. Having a mux switch solves all of those problems. And I got one in here. Awesome. I'm just gonna turn on the extreme performance and the apex mode. I like the warning. Apex mode might increase in noise and temperature, might slightly influence battery status, and might slightly influence charging efficiency. We're screen recording with OBS on the laptop. We are running Cyberpunk, and in the top left corner, we can see that we are running at an average of 130 FPS, 135. Wow, and the screen looks really good. The responsiveness of the OLED is great. The motion is so well done. This thing is a beast. Let's go ray tracing. Let's see what happens at ray tracing ultra. We're now like sub 60. I would say that maybe not ray tracing ultra, but the fact that I even like, that was even a question worth answering or asking says a lot about the amount of juice they put in this box. It is toasty. But honestly, the top of the laptop's actually staying like really comfortably cool in a way that like MacBooks and stuff do not. We just went to 150 watts. It's on, you can see it on the screen. We're at 150 watts on the CPU right now. So we just saw it play Cyberpunk at 60 FPS with Cinebench running in the background and recording to OBS. That is basically torture for a computer, and this thing just handled it fine. But what does Labs have to say about the performance? In Cyberpunk, we're seeing this get an average of 152 FPS with a 1% lows of 130. In F1, 200 average FPS. And in Total War Warhammer 3, we're seeing like 113 FPS. This thing, there's just no other way of saying it. It is a beast. And that means that it also affects the battery life. For a gaming laptop of this class, the battery life that we're seeing here is expected. Nothing amazing, nothing terrible. About 6 hours in our battery test. And obviously, if you're gonna be playing games with unplugged, it's gonna be much worse. Thermals are kind of not amazing. Apparently the max that we ever saw being drawn from the CPU package was 197 watts, which is insane. And in Cinebench, we average at 101 degrees, which is a lot, but it is within the performance target of the 290HX Plus. It's scary hot, but it is totally fine and designed to run that way. The GPU seems to have much better cooling. We end up quite a bit below the TJ Max of our GPU with an average at 71 and a max of 75 in Combustor. So pretty solid there. I guess this is probably, again, look at their target audience. They're biasing it towards gaming workloads, and it's honestly killing it there. In SDR, the screen is nice and bright and relatively color accurate. Out of the box, it comes in a display P3 mode, so if you're trying to do sRGB color work, you might have to tinker with the settings to get the best performance. And out of the box in HDR, things are kind of bad, mainly because of how Windows handles HDR. If the HDR brightness is set to 0 on the laptop, things are always blown out, so all of your color tracking is off because all of your EOTF tracking is off. Thankfully, if you just quickly set the HDR content brightness to 100, the display performs exceptionally well with delta E's around 3. But just one thing to note, if you're looking for the best HDR experience, you might need to make those small tweaks to get it to look good. All right. Let's upgrade to win. Oh, nice, the screws are captive. That's sweet, that's sweet, that's super useful. And we see this big, chonky heating pad. But here we can see our SODIMM slots as well as our 2 SSD slots that you can get the common 2280 size M.2 SSDs, and these ones will actually have enough space for dual-sided SSDs. This blower fan right here is supposed to specifically help with the CPU, but to figure out how it's doing that, we're gonna have to take the rest of the back of it off. So let's do that real quick. And with 10 simple screws, we are into the laptop. Oh, there's one more screw in the middle, 11 screws. One thing that I'm really appreciating in here is that all of the screws for these boards have specific labels for the length of the screw that you need. So this one is an M2, it's 3.5 millimeters in length. Super nice, they even have them on the hinges. This makes it so much easier to repair. That's really cool, love to see it. Kudos, MSI. So here we get to take a look at what MSI calls their IntraFlow cooler, which is 6 pretty large heat pipes that are cooling both the GPU, which I believe is around here, and the CPU, which is gonna be right here. Those are cooled by some 2 pretty large fans with some very dense heat sinks on both edges. I just noticed this little thing right here. It's a little switch that you can press down. What it does is it completely disconnects the power so you can swap out your RAM and SSDs without having to worry about the battery sending any juice to them when you're just doing the quick swap. I'm so pleasantly surprised by how thoughtful the interior of this thing is. Like, way to go, MSI. And way to go you for getting all the way to the end of this video. So here's a little treat. I'm gonna tell you the price. The Raider 16 Max HX starts at $3,000, and the configuration we have in front of us, which is like close to the top of the line, if not the top of the line, is $4,100. I'm pretty impressed with what I saw here today. I think MSI has done a great job with this gaming laptop. I would love to hear what you think, so let us know in the comments below what you think of this MSI laptop. If you were my dad, let me know if I've been a good enough boy that you would buy me one of these. Thank you, MSI, for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. If you liked the video, let your friends know. If you didn't like the video, let your enemies know. Bring them here, make them watch the whole thing, they'll hate it. Bye.